Hey everybody, and good Wednesday evening, and welcome back to a fresh edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, the Valley's most in-depth, detailed, geeky, nerdy weather video. It is April 1st, and today is the beginning of kind of the heart of meteorological winter, the middle, meteorological spring, I should say, the months of March, April, and May. Temperatures will respond nicely as far as the averages go over the next several weeks, but in the meantime, the first day of meteorological spring was fairly typical of April 1st. 41 on the low side, that was a little bit mild, but 52 for a high is only 1 degree off our average. Today's record high, 83, set in 2010, and 14, the record low, 1964. We did have a little bit of shower activity at the start of the day today, so we picked up a couple of hundredths of an inch at the Youngstown Warren Airport in Vienna at the start of the day. Yeah, not a very nice start. We had the gloomy weather, but as expected, from north to south, you're going to see that clearing line coming at us. Moving in from north to south in the afternoon on this time lapse from our Youngstown camera, perched atop our transmitter tower on the south side of Youngstown. What a great afternoon it turned out to be. All right, meteorological spring, March, April, May. Our average high, 53 today, but by the end of the month and the start of May, that average is up to 65 degrees, so we'll pick up 12 degrees on those average highs. Average lows, of course, also rising at this time of the year, and the days are certainly getting longer. Now, at the start of astronomical winter, back on December 21st, we had 9 hours, 13 minutes worth of daylight. Now we're up to 12 hours, 41 minutes. During the month of March, we picked up an hour and 25 minutes, and this month we'll pick up an hour and 18 minutes worth of daylight, peaking at 15 hours and 8 minutes at the start of astronomical summer on June 21st. It's really, really noticeable how long the days are at this time of the year. Now, from a climatological perspective, April typically features 4.2% of our annual snowfall. But there are some Aprils in which we have no snowfall. There are some Aprils in which we have quite a bit of snowfall. I think this year it's going to be much closer to 0% than the climatological average of 4.2. March was way below average in terms of snow this year, and April should follow suit. I'm not expecting much in the way of wintry weather this month, although mid-month may be a little bit on the chilly side. In the meantime, as we head into spring, of course, severe weather becomes more and more common, especially to our south, down across Dixie Alley and into the southern plains. This is prime time for tornadoes from Oklahoma City and Dallas over towards Birmingham and Jackson, Little Rock. The odds definitely lower as you go off to the north. Typically, the climatological peak tornado season, once you're up into the Corn Belt and the Great Lakes region, the Ohio Valley, our region, that's later in spring, more towards the second half of May and into June, even into early July. Not to say we can't have severe weather in April around here, but it's certainly a little less common in April than it is later on in the springtime. All right, things are blooming, things are greening up, and this is good news. It sure looks like spring, early spring out there, but this isn't great news for allergy sufferers. Tree pollen is already shooting up. Grass pollen, weed pollen will follow suit later in the spring, but already with things budding and greening up, the tree pollen is definitely elevated and even a little ahead of schedule. Of course, things are greening up and leafing out a week or even 2 weeks ahead of schedule in our region. As far as the weather goes this evening, not a lot of excitement across the lower 48. This is our next cold front up here. It's producing some wintry weather up in the mountains and some showers in the lower elevations. This is going to take its sweet time coming east. It's really going to be until Sunday before that front has any impact on our weather. We're in good shape for the next couple of days. We're expecting sunshine, some fair weather clouds in the mix by Thursday afternoon. Now, I think Friday might start out with some fog in some places. Notice this deck of clouds you see on the model. This could actually manifest itself as fog in some places early on Friday. This will be followed by a beautiful afternoon on Friday, and then great weather as we kick off the weekend Saturday. Finally, this front will bring us our chance for showers as we wrap up the weekend on Sunday, but I think the first half of the weekend will be delightful. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, so for most of next week, I'm expecting a warmer than average period. I've got temperatures in the 60s for highs Monday through Wednesday of next week. Now, we might retreat back to the 50s, I think, during the second half of next week. But all in all, this does not look like any sort of cool pattern for next week. Now, beyond next week, some of the modeling is showing some cooler air, trying to make inroads around mid-month. But boy, I'll tell you, every time 2-3 weeks out, the models advertise some sort of cooler pattern. it just has a hard time coming to fruition. Remember, a few weeks ago we thought early April would be cool. It's turning out to be anything but cool. A very balmy first 10 days of April looks to unfold across the Mahoning and Shenango valleys. All right, short and sweet on this evening's weather for Weather Geeks, with pretty quiet weather over the next couple of days. Hope you can get outside, get some fresh air, stretch your legs, keep that social distancing going, but take a walk, go for a jog, walk the dog. The weather will cooperate for the next few days with some great afternoons.